That's good of you to stop and listen to my story. My name is Thomas Bryson, born in Cooper Fife on the 24th of July 1894. My parents were called Elizabeth and Robert. I was the last of their 6 children, and there was a gap of 7 years between me and my older brother Ernest. Maybe I was an afterthought. My father was a domestic coachman, and so he was up for hire. But when I was about 4 years old, he found a steady job as a stud groom in Alloway, in charge of the breeding of the horses. I enrolled in Alloway School. I did well at school, and when I left, I got a job as a law clerk, working for D.W. Shaw in the Sandgate, just round the corner. They're still based there. After a few years, I moved up to Glasgow, working for Messrs. Arthur & Co. When war broke out, I had no hesitation in enlisting. Like most boys from Ayr, I joined the Ayrshire Yeomanry. There was the usual period of training, and then we were on the move. We sailed from Devonport on board the Arcadian on the 27th of September. Our first port of call was the Greek island of Mouveros, where we were equipped and transferred to the Partridge and deposited on Hellas Beach in Gallipoli on the 11th of October 1915. Our task here was to capture the peninsula from the Turks, but it was soon obvious to us that this was doomed to failure. They had the higher ground, you see. We simply couldn't make any significant gains. After much sacrifice, our superiors admitted defeat and we were evacuated in January 1916. We were then transferred to the Western Front in Flanders, and I was promoted to second lieutenant and appointed to the Machine Gun Corps. Through 1917 and the first part of 1918, it was a bloody stalemate. But in August 1918, we felt the tide turning. From then, it was a gradual push through Belgium against a demoralised but still dangerous German army. Finally, on November the 11th, they surrendered and the guns fell silent. That wasn't the end of the story, though. I was made lieutenant and attached to a prisoner of war company. We were in charge of companies of German prisoners who had useful skills such as engineering or forestry, working to rebuild the devastation across Europe. I had survived Gallipoli and Flanders, but I didn't survive the Spanish flu. On the 14th of February, I was admitted to a casualty clearing station and then to hospital in France. But on the 27th of February 1919, I died. I was 24 years old. I'm buried at Longness Cemetery in France, and my name is inscribed in the War Memorial in Prestwick. Story read by Nick Wakeham.